Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football, taking a deeper dive into this Florida Gators offense and looking at what they've done well up to this point and what they haven't done well and what Billy Napier can implement to help get this Florida Gators offense going a little bit more. Really excited for this. We did a game preview on South Carolina and Florida, kind of some broad matchups and kind of key takeaways to look for in this game. Now we're going to dive into the weeds a little bit of this Florida offense and look at how they can get this thing going on the offensive side of the ball. Now, before we get into it, just want to say thank you to you guys and especially the Florida Gator fans. You guys have shown a ton of support. Y'all know I love talking this Florida team. The amount of support you guys have shown in the comment section, it really does mean a lot. So one, if you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. That's the best way to support the boys. Secondly, I know there's been a lot of frustration with this Florida offense. Would love to hear from you guys in the comment section. I'm giving you guys some of my takeaways from watching the film, looking at the numbers. Would love to hear what you guys have to say. Without further ado, let's get into this. And I want to start with Graham Mertz and what they're doing with Graham Mertz in the scope of this offense. And I kind of want to see him cook a little bit more, right? I've been probably the biggest defender of Graham Mertz this season. A lot of the problems you see with this Florida team, I really don't think fall on Graham Mertz's shoulders. He is leading the country in completion percentage, kind of doing exactly what Billy Napier and this coaching staff brought him in to do. Be the point guard of the offense, make the throws that this offense is asking him to make, and not turn the ball over. Now, there are some things he needs to get better at, but overall, I don't think these struggles on the offensive side of the ball have been due to Graham Mertz. And with that being said, I want to see them let Graham Mertz cook a little bit more and take some shots. You look at Graham Mertz attacking the deeper third of this defense. 9 of 16, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 140 NFL passer rating. Graham Mertz has been really good pushing the ball down the field. He's just not doing it that much, right? Only 16 attempts, 20 plus yards down the field. That's extremely low. And we've talked extensively about Florida trying to find some sort of explosiveness in this offense. Letting Graham Mertz attack that deeper third certainly can be something you're looking at. And again, looking at South Carolina, 8.6 yards per pass given up. That's 112th in the country. South Carolina, you turn on the Mississippi State film, they were giving up the deep shot a lot. Heading into this matchup, I really would like to see Florida let Graham Mertz push the ball down the field a little bit more. People forget. They kind of just want to label him a game manager. Coming out of high school, Graham Mertz was one of the more decorated quarterbacks of the class. He has the arm talent to be kind of a plus quarterback. I like to see Billy Napier treat him like that. And what I really think is going to help here is it's going to make the defense attack or kind of respect that deeper third level. My biggest critique of this Florida scheme, and again, I'm not going to just kind of drag Billy Napier in the schematics of this offense because I think there's a lot of execution problems as well, especially on the offensive line. But one of my biggest problems I do see with this Florida offense is they're not really stressing a defense and making them kind of defend the whole field, right? A lot of these plays are drawn up inside of 10 yards, 10, 15 yards. They're not attacking that deeper third. So what is that allowing the defense to do? Take away those short and intermediate throwing windows, load the box to stop the run. It's making the job for the opposing defense a lot easier when you show that you don't want to push the ball down the field and attack that deeper third. If they start doing that, taking some more shots, not only have you had success doing it and you're going to find some explosive plays, but you're also going to open up some of those intermediate route trees and that running game to really get going. And that leads us to our second thing. And that is you have to run the football better. And that, partially falls on the offensive line as well, right? We can sit here and critique what Billy Napier's drawing up. This Florida team is based on running the football. And if they don't run the football well, the offense does not have a good performance, right? We've seen when they run the football really well against Tennessee, best that offense has looked all year. When they don't run the football well and the run play is kind of taken away like it was against Kentucky, that's when we see this offense really struggle. So it starts with running the football. And for a couple of key reasons. One, it helps them stay on schedule. And this has been what Florida has really struggled with. You look at their third down numbers. They're 123rd in the country, only converting 29% of the time on third down. And I don't think it has to do with play calling on third down as much as the situations they're being put in on third down, right? A lot of third and longs where it's kind of those obvious passing situations and kind of limits your playbook. If you run the football on first and second down better, you stop taking all these negative plays and penalties. You put yourself in more 3rd and 3s and 3rd and 2s where that whole playbook is open. The defense has to respect the run and the pass in that situation. It's going to be a lot more effective in kind of extending those drives and converting on 3rd down. Second thing about running the football, you look at the play action and going back to finding these explosive plays for the Florida Gators through the air. If you run the football well, the play action is going to be much more effective. And you look at Graham Mertz's numbers going out of play action, that's when he's at his best. A 75% completion percentage, 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Here's the kicker stat: 10 yards per pass attempt. So we're looking at Florida just really not pushing the ball down the field, not finding those explosive plays through the air, but they have a 10 yards per pass attempt going out of play action. Those are where the explosive plays through the air are coming from. If you run the football better and you set up the play action more effectively, that's what's going to open up this Florida passing attack a little bit more. And again, Graham Mertz, really, really comfortable working play action. And then the third reason is it takes a lot of pressure off the offensive line and pass protection where they've massively struggled, right? Play action definitely takes some pressure off the offensive line. But secondly, this has been a big problem, and it kind of goes back to being in those 3rd and long situations where you have to have longer developing route trees. The defenses they're knowing they're in a passing situation. They're pinning the ears back and not having to be responsible for defending the run. I think that's resulted in a 9.18% sack rate. That is outside of the top 100 for the Florida Gators. The sacks, the negative plays have been a massive problem. The best way to take pressure off that offensive line is running the football better. Now, again, I'm not trying to expunge the execution of the offensive line. Like, that has been a problem, but there are things Billy Napier, I think, can do to maybe take a little pressure off this offensive line. And when you talk about being an elite play caller, it's looking at your team and saying, what do we do well? And almost more importantly, what do we not do well? And what do we have to try to cover up? And pass protection is certainly one of those things. Running the football well, staying out of those 3rd and obvious passing situations, that's going to alleviate some of the pressure in pass protection, limit some of those negative plays and sacks. I think you're going to see a lot more success, and again, stems from running the football more effectively. And you look at South Carolina in both these things. We talked about it. South Carolina giving the big play up a lot through the air. So I'd like to see Florida attack that deeper 3rd. And secondly, this has been a team that does not defend the run extremely well in the front 7. So I'd like to see Florida kind of do those things. And I think, one, if you get those deep shots going and you force those safeties to kind of play off the line of scrimmage and not be as much of a factor in run support, it's going to help that rushing attack as well. So I think it starts with taking some more deep shots, making this defense defend the whole entire field, and then getting that run game going. And lastly, and if you guys have been listening to me for a long time, they listed a bunch of numbers, right? Completion percentage and play action and attacking the deeper 3rd. Sometimes it's not that complicated. And it's just go let your playmakers make plays. And one of the biggest problems I see is I just don't think Billy Napier is putting his guys in situations and kind of scheming up for his best players. Ricky Pearsall has been phenomenal, but you look at arguably who has the most juice in this Florida Gators offense is true freshman Eugene Wilson. I know he's been banged up, and he kind of didn't get a ton of reps the first couple of games because he was a true freshman. He's shown to be that guy. Like, when he touches the ball, you're holding your breath expecting a big play. My problem with this is you look at Eugene Wilson, how he's been used. He's only been targeted twice, 10-plus yards down the field, and 0 times 20-plus yards down the field. This is a guy that has a ton of speed, a ton of playmaking ability at the catch point, and they're just not really letting him off the leash a little bit. Now, I get you want to get Eugene Wilson involved with those short passes, get the football in his hands, and let him cook. I get that's probably where he's most dangerous, but trust him to go make some plays down the field. Again, you have some playmakers in this offense. Go let them be playmakers. Sometimes football is not that complicated. You look at the Georgia Bulldogs and why they've had so much success the last 2 weeks with their offense. They said, hey, we got the best pass catcher in the country in Brock Bowers. We're going to use him. And they started peppering him with balls. Nothing schematically changed about that offense besides, hey, we're going to go get our best player of the football more often, and it's helped that offense in a meaningful way. Would like to see Florida do that as well. South Carolina represents a really good opportunity, I believe, for Florida to get some of these things going on the offensive side of the ball, and I really do think it starts with confidence. You get this Florida offense a little bit more confident. That confidence you saw against Tennessee, that's when this group is at their most dangerous. really excited to see what they can do against South Carolina. Florida fans, appreciate you guys rocking with the boys. If you do enjoy the content, again, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later.